Hey guys, we'll get started in just a few minutes. AR, why don't you go ahead and say something? And your audio clearly is not being piped through. So let me go figure out why. Let's go ahead. Okay, AR, try talking.
Okay, should I say something more interesting this time? Would that
No,
help?
no, that went
Okay.
through. I can see the bars that time. It appears for whatever reason OBS had switched the audio from what I have it set to default, which is not helpful.
Ooh, default.
Yeah, Dev, why don't you go ahead with a few words?
I am so tired and I am sore from the attempted assassination by my dog.
Yeah, Dev is joining us from a remote location with her phone. We believe she's hiding somewhere in Alaska from her dog who tried to throw her off a cliff.
It happens occasionally.
Yeah.
Must get pretty good 4G from Alaska.
Yeah.
It's a landline.
Oh, okay.
See, it bothers me because there's 5G where I live, everywhere around the exact part where I live. Like if you look at the map,
Mm.
it's literally a circle around me that is 4G only. It's
I
rather
don't know.
impressive.
I don't know Dev's exact geography for trying to figure that out, so I went safe and said 4G.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and make sure my audio is what I expect it to be since it reset your guys's. That concerns me. Okay, everything looks fine. AR, talk one more time just so I can make sure it's still feeding through.
Okay, fine.
Okay, that looks good. Okay, you guys ready to go?
Yep.
Yep. Sounds good.
Okay. Welcome to the podcast. We're here to entertain, inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, a runner with the will.
I'm AR Pulver, Digimon System Restore, which turns 10 this week.
Wow, don't you feel old?
Yes, I feel very old.
I regret all the old man Pulver jokes. It would have worked better if I had saved them for now.
Yeah, it's more the fact that I've been writing Digimon reviews for 10 years now. I was not expecting to be going this long.
And I'm DevQ, and I'm going to burn Wikimon to the ground later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later because, oh man, it's been fun to watch this week. So the funny
Watching
part is,
Wikimon or watching my suffering over Wikimon?
less the suffering, if I'm honest, because there is a point where it's kind of not funny because it kind of hits that point of being stupid rather than being funny. And this is like the funniest time ever that it proved why the reference book is a bad source, and we'll get into that later. But yeah, Dev's had a rough week. So, and so did Mugendramon in the Attack of Mugendramon. Really feels like this would have been a place to use Machine Dramon, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm not going on that one.
He's definitely not infinite anymore.
There you go. That's the line.
I feel weird about this fucking episode because it
was a weird one.
It's what you want to see for this type of episode, except
it's this series.
Yeah,
that's what it amounts to. Like, this is exactly the kind of episode I want to see. It's just that it's this series, so I just can't quite get too excited about it.
Although I'm 100% very glad we did not get the stopping moments that people seem to really want for this one, like stop and have Yamato explain how he's seen Mugen. Like, we got a nice flash of that and they moved on. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, they're probably
like,
not going to do anything
saying
with it anyway,
shit.
so
yeah. Or like they tell us how they made Mugendramon, but they don't stop the episode to go, and this is Andromon, and this is Metal Greymon, and like I like how
the exposition was in the right places.
Yes.
They didn't. Yeah, they introduced stuff early, and then they just kind of let things happen.
Yeah. And then we get to see Mugendramon just sort of beat up on everyone for a while as they try to beat up on him in the traditional Dragon Ball Z style of start normal, then Super Saiyan 2, and so forth.
Yeah. Which I never really quite liked for Digimon.
Ugh.
Oh, the dog found you.
The dogs,
Yep,
it chased you down in Alaska, Dev. Run, escape while you can. But yeah, so we got nice, like, pseudo quick evolution attack stuff happening, appearances. I know you're not a fan of that, AR, but I kind of like where we get to see stuff tried before they move on, although maybe this time it was a bit too minimal for most of them.
Yeah, it looked slick. The series has never had a problem with looking slick, and this is the time to pull that stuff out.
Yeah, and the Perfects had some nice stuff, like Zudomon got in a few really good hits, I have to say. like whacking him in the head with the hammer. I think, Dev, you said there was a crotch hit somewhere in there.
Yeah, he basically punched him right in the robo-dick.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got
like tell him that's not that effective.
Yeah, that doesn't really work against Robot Unit.
He was wearing a cup.
Wow. Oh boy. Neo Vandemon all over again.
So we get the fight, and then the main issue I have with it, and I said this when I wrote down, it kind of felt for most of the episode, it kind of felt like the gag would basically be the harem anime gag of, so is anything actually going to happen here? Because it wasn't a bad fight, but most of it was kind of plodding and kind of empty, at least to me.
Yeah, it was very according to script, ultimately.
Yeah. And then
it kind of went exactly how everyone would have predicted it happening. I mean, it's actually what happens at the end is basically what Taichi does at the end is essentially a rehash of episode 10. Like, you guys go along, and try, sort of. Yeah.
Yes. So we get War Greymon, and then after they get rid of Metal Garurumon, who shows up but not really relevantly.
We're just kind of there for a scene, and then
I mean that's what happened. I mean that's how he was introduced.
Yeah, I mean he had to show up.
Yeah, and then we get the proper Mugendramon and War Greymon fight that was done really well, except we do not my only issue with it is it feels like this is where you needed the high-end animation to really stand out, but also we kind of expect the budget's going to be used in the next few episodes. So this is, again, an odd case where we go, this was sufficient, but if they don't use that animation budget in the next few somewhere, it kind
we'll
of
be
makes
sad.
you look this one sadder. Because, like, even
Yeah.
without much of a crazy animation, they actually did a lot of interesting stuff here. Like, as far as actually using parts, I don't think I've seen a fight done this well, maybe ever, as far as like using gear and stuff in Digimon.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely got into that, and that especially became an asset towards the end, the very end of the fight with the big thing at the end.
Yeah,
Just having the torso, it kind of comes in that came in really handy.
No, and yeah, it actually does work well, and the face-off stuff was nice. Everyone was very happy to see.
The face-off stuff didn't. I was like, kind of, are they just gonna do the single slash thing again? That old trope, or are they gonna actually fight? And they actually fought, so
Yeah,
good for them.
And we
that was delightful. It's like, yes, violence.
And we got like the alien pop out moment with War Greymon. I don't know why, but I almost laughed seeing that. Where he kind of dug into me and it just like popped out like a gopher. And again, Angelomon's used for a power up. That's like her thing in this series. This is at least the third
which I
time
don't
I
mind. Like, I think Hikari and Angelomon were probably the best parts of the episode narratively. Like, it's not exactly the most complex, but
no,
it's actual characters having reactions is what I'm here for, and they had strong reactions to what was happening, and it influenced the events.
Yeah. The main thing here was probably, wow, they really used a nearly full-size Break the Chain this time. And that song really, they paid good money for that song to get use out of it. That song, anytime it shows up, it amps everything up like by 10 times excitement-wise.
Which does make sense. Like, that's the ultimate evolution song. So you figure that one's going to be that one's going to be used the most frequently in a long-term fashion.
Yeah.
Because all the other ones are, it's not peak action now.
No. Yeah. And it ends with Tai Chi dying. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yay.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, we
because here's the issue. Even ignoring what the show is, it's such a basic thing to do. Is I don't begrudge them for doing it, but also I don't have the energy to even sit here and pretend that, oh, maybe they are gonna do something different, because they're not. And I don't mean that in a mean way.
Tai Chi is going to walk this off.
Yes.
He's going to get up wherever he landed, and he's going to be fine.
Exactly. But yeah, good episode. It has some issues, and I'm just trying to decide how it fits in at this point is the main thing for me, at least.
It's getting to be, this is what the show does best. It's just a matter of, because if it's lacking issues everywhere else, it doesn't reach its full potential.
Basically, exactly. Although
I will say we got some violence out of it.
Although I will say this, the interesting thing is reading like general opinions on Twitter and other people's thoughts on it, I realized why their reactions never seem to click well with me. And AR, you've drifted into it occasionally, but I think you go out of your way not to do it. It's almost falling into that sort of nostalgia critic trap of the ranting almost goes past the content, so it doesn't fit. Like, there's actual issues in the episode, and instead I see people complaining about, oh, they're gonna bring back Leomon now, or stuff that doesn't really have any really coherent issues, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've always taken, like, my perspective has always been looking at episodes within the context of the franchise as a whole.
Yeah.
So
there's nothing here that different. It's what we would expect for this type of episode for Digimon.
I mean, bringing characters like Leomon back, my criticism with that is that, it's been like 20 episodes.
They could have brought it back in a more exciting way rather than just being a phone call.
Yeah, they didn't do anything, which was
the one complaint
frustrating.
The one complaint that I saw a number of people make, though, and really confused me, was the people who were upset that we didn't get an explanation for the castle growing back. And like, did we really?
No,
they did.
Yeah, it's part of Eldoradimon.
Yeah, that's just
it's like as he heals, he gets his stuff back.
Yeah, that's
they literally just said that on the screen.
That's what I thought they did, but
I didn't even mention that in my review because I thought it was so straightforward.
Yeah, I saw multiple people comment that they don't explain it, and of course they didn't explain it. They never explain anything. It's like that's explained
literally
fine.
Explained it.
Yeah,
that's weird digital world mystique. You don't need to explain stuff like that. Like, it's Digimon sometimes
that's what I mean.
In weird, mysterious ways.
But that's what I mean when I say you don't really fall into it that often. But the idea that any single thing they have to stop, they don't need to stop for everything.
Yeah,
there is stuff we want them to stop and explain, but
like,
that's what I'm saying.
I comment on things when it is a clear head scratcher, when it actually does seem to fly against rules of the
absolutely.
Rules of the world that are actually established. Something like that, there really aren't rules.
No,
like,
but
things like that can just happen. It's okay.
Yeah. No, exactly. You tend to not fall. I'd say the only trap you fall into is occasionally you get a little ranty. Isn't the right word, but you get a little too. I would say a little too bemused with some comment you can make in your writing. Not rant. You don't rant though.
If I have a good take, I'm gonna exploit it.
Oh no, absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. That's not falling into the trap I'm talking about. Is all I'm saying. I'm just making clear that.
Also, one thing is I do write more. I do try to go for more of an essay format. Like, I do have like sort of a central argument. It's like, okay, this is my main argument, and spend the rest of the thing talking about it.
You aren't writing a rant for YouTube, basically.
Right.
Yeah. And then next time we get the God of Evil descends Millenniumon, and hopefully he'll be gone within a couple. And hopefully he'll be gone within a couple episodes, and we don't have to deal with any time travel nonsense or any of the stuff that, for whatever reason, people seem to crave with this character.
Well, how many people are expecting Rio to show up?
I mean, we've seen comments where people are like, the show still has episodes left. Maybe Rio will show up as like, oh God, I fucking hope
I'm not joking. I know that's something people talk about.
No, absolutely.
Roll my eyes out at it.
No, absolutely. We're not joking. We said that people really are saying it, and it's like, when has Rio ever been interesting except in theory, basically?
Right. Like, he has an interesting role in his games, but he doesn't have an interesting personality.
No.
He gets dragged through a bunch of crap. That's his role.
Yeah.
I mean, the most personality he gets is PTSD.
He's just not an interesting character to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see
I make him a little bit interesting in Nexus World.
And now I just remembered the other thing I saw people going with. Did you watch the next episode preview, right?
The one on Crunchyroll. I usually don't bother with the expense.
I saw multiple people comment. They're gonna have Sakakumon, Sephirothmon evolve into the hybrid spirit of metal. Finally, they're finally gonna reveal. It's like, if you don't know what happened, yes.
What?
Let's be clear. If you are not 99% sure what is happening in that shot that we saw, you need to pay attention. And it goes back. We had this discussion like December where people don't analyze what they're looking at anymore.
They only see what they want to see.
Yeah. We are not getting the hybrid spirit of metal. The entire setup there is, he's absorbed a bunch of Digimon. He's going to use it to make the new body for Millenniumon. That's the setup.
Yeah.
It's literally like the cat puking up the Tesseract. That's exactly what's going on.
It is not Sephiroth does best. Yeah.
Wow.
And then in bad analysis, we have a Toei fiscal report, which literally nothing new here or interesting here, minus seeing the bad takes from people who do not do fiscal analysis or marketing or have any knowledge on the subject.
It's interesting. It's interesting stuff to see. There is nothing you can, no conclusions to draw from it.
Oh no, the closest thing is it actually confirms shit we said. Like, for example, when Adventure came back from the hiatus, and people went, well, why would they start adding the names now? And we said, for the kids. Or when kids' products stopped for a few months and then they started with the deluge of them a few months ago, and we went, oh, they apparently found more of a kid audience, which is why they clearly stopped doing them for a while and then started throwing them out at us. That was, what, about 2 or so. This was about when this report would have been put together, actually, when they started throwing out the kids stuff like crazy.
When was this report put together?
The official date of it would have been the end of March, but it's technically a yearly report. So they are going back
2020,
basically up through March, the end of up through the beginning of April.
Yeah. Okay, so like
so basically
Q1.
Yeah. So basically, this covers the hiatus. This covers all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always interested in seeing how they perceive themselves doing with certain audiences, but
I'm more surprised. The most surprising thing is they almost don't mention Dai at all, which seems very odd considering how, like, they announced that a year ahead of time they were going all hardcore for it. So that's actually the only surprising thing here, to be honest. Like, Digimon, there's not much interesting.
It's about what you expect.
Yeah, there's I only
comment on the anime, which may not apply anymore. You've got the release of Survive, which is scheduled for when we expect it to be scheduled.
I believe that's identical to the last report they did, actually, for the Survive thing.
So, but yeah, they haven't seen fit to move it back yet.
No, and here's the thing: they may not know enough to comment on it, or they may not be allowed to comment on it.
Right, and you're not going to announce a delay through this report.
No. The only thing that's surprising here is this was probably put together earlier than they normally would, because there actually are 1 or 2 things here that I would not expect to be in a report that ended in March.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily,
the schedule isn't going to contradict any publicly known information.
No. Basically, this is a fact of what we've been saying. Show's doing fine. It could do better with kids, but kids stuff is also selling, which is the goal. And if I don't remember if I actually linked to the data sheets. I mentioned them. At this point, Digimon's actually because there's different groups of numbers based on locations and what stuff does. It's about the 3rd to 6th biggest title for Toei as far as money making goes.
Oh, that's a wide range.
It's a wide range, but the problem is stuff like, for example, it will hit 3rd or 4th in overseas licensing, as in us. But the numbers are huge, but then other numbers you can't see because it's not in the top 4. So realistically, it's the 3rd or 4th. I put 3rd to 6th, though, to hedge because there's stuff I can't see.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably 3rd or 4th, though, if just being honest about it. So, yeah. Nothing that it's the type of thing where if people weren't going to freak out about it anyways, I wouldn't even have posted about it. There's nothing that interesting here.
Yeah, like there's a right way and a wrong way to read this.
Yeah.
And it's like you can
Oh, we've seen the bad takes.
Yeah, the comments can be kind of interesting, even though it's very top down perspective and may no longer apply, and everything on the left isn't going to contradict anything.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. And then this is where it feels like model kits. Every new kit at this point is almost like shocking. We get a non-amplified figurized standard model kit line, where we get anime designs. They show off the first kit, which is War Greymon, and they more than tease Metal Garurumon and Magnamon.
Surprised me he's getting merch after a while. That's nice.
It makes sense because he is a very popular character who hasn't actually gone all that much in recent years. It's actually a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one to test. It's good to test the waters with.
Well, Magnamon, it's easy to get lost in the shuffle between Imperial Dramon and
yes,
and
other Imperial Dramon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course a new
all of the Imperial Dramons.
Yeah, we get no price. We get no prices. The date is October, if I remember. We'll get prices soon. I expect it to be maybe a bit cheaper than the amplified kits. Overall, it looks like a very nice kit, though, I have to say. And then we got the army of people going, why War Greymon and Metal Garurumon? And the answer is because you fuckers don't buy anything. Buy shit. They're giving, like, look at the amplified line. We got Imperial Dramon that transforms, and the dragon form's kind of ugly, to be fair, but it's there.
It still transforms.
Yeah. Mugendramon just came out. Dukemon's coming out soon. If you want stuff other than War Greymon or Metal Garurumon, buy it. We say it every damn time. Like it's sort of like for Digivolving Spirits, the first shipment of everything sold out, and then additional shipments are where we can figure out what's going on. War Greymon and Metal Garurumon were always hard to find, and War Greymon they kept reprinting, and Alphamon you can still fucking find on sale.
Just check Barnes & Noble to see if Alphamon's still there, and it always is.
Yeah, and
to be fair, the Alphamon was suffering to try and
it's fucking painful, but there's no other way to do Alphamon properly to a degree. Like that is, but it's like even as much as like we thought the Tentomon one was the best one ever. I saw that one for a long time, and that was like honestly the best one, I think, to be honest. I'm trying to think like were any of the others better? In fact, Angelomon pretty much sold out, and that might have been the worst, I think. Were any of them worse than Angelomon?
I don't think so. It's like, I got it because favorite.
Angelomon, yeah.
But also, it's like, wow, this kind of sucks, but good luck finding it anywhere.
Yeah, that one vanished. It felt like the could find them were Alphamon and Tentomon. But yeah, they are always going to lead with, except for in specific cases, they're going to lead with War Greymon and Omegamon because those are the ones where they can figure out what is the line going to do. Although I have to admit, I'm kind of looking forward to Mag. It's been so long since Magdamon's got stuff. Somewhere I have that old O2 Japanese pull apart the Digimental figure that I got when the show was first running in Japan. That's such a good and kind of ugly toy that I like. And then polls. This is what, like, the numbers are about even, and of course, this is one where the reason the top answer is the top answer, I saw multiple people get wrong. Rabbit and Diramon was 11%. Gee, so that would equate to being born in 2 different years. 1999, which isn't super relevant, and being born in 1987, so 12-year-olders when Adventure started. That, like that is...
Look, it's your target demographic.
Yes, it is the exact target demographic you would expect to have seen the show when it was new and to still pop up occasionally. Everything else is not exactly even, but close enough that you can call it flat.
Now I kind of want to do the reverse and figure out what years would make be the reason Mihiramon does so poorly.
Let's see.
It's a 5% swing. Like, that's not insignificant.
Yeah, but it's only a couple percentage points off the average, though. So
well,
okay,
yeah, it's not,
okay,
it's
so
nothing going to be
literally
dramatic.
only like 1 year off of the rabbit.
Yeah,
it's only 1 year off.
No, exactly.
It is surprising that it's a 5-point swing.
True, but that would also go for I'm not going to check the rest of them for whichever one was going to make the point, but it's not that much of a swing overall. It's only when you look at top and bottom.
It's all, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to. It's close enough that it could be just noise.
Yeah, but it's
But you gotta look at the. I mean, in something like this where where you'd normally expect a pretty even distribution of things, you do want to kind of look at the margins.
Yeah.
Even as narrow as they are, and wonder.
Yeah. And then they put up a new Digimon profile based around Night Digimon, which
Okay.
I worry these are falling. I worry these are falling into a rut because I sense a theme happening time after time now, where it's look at X Digimon, and then we get the poll, we get some reference book updates, and dev cries. So let's go ahead and talk about the Night Digimon. So Shoutmon X4 Night gets reference book art profile. Really nice art, by the way, which I don't believe we've ever seen this before. That's right.
Honestly, it's my favorite Shoutmon evolution because goddamn, that cape looks badass.
Yeah. And then we get Gladimon, which we need to talk about because, good God, someone was fucking drunk at Bandai. So they put it up as Gladimon, which everyone went, aha, reference book, aha, it should be Gladimon, but whatever, close enough. And then the next day it became Gladimon, and everyone was like, oh, wow, they fixed it. And then a few hours later, it was Gladimon again. And then it was changed back to Gladimon a few hours after that. And someone
every fucking time.
Yeah, so someone made a joke in the chat room about, oh, I wonder what Wikimon has. And I go and look, and everyone, it's like someone's sitting there like trying to change it live while people are arguing about what it should be in the comment, on the talk pages, and it's just fucking hilarious. And Dev, I believe Dev started cursing and ranting, going, I'm gonna fucking, just like when her and me were talking, and she's just getting upset because this was stupid.
Yeah, I think my comment was Bandai could gargle my nuts.
But yeah, they were just flipping it back and forth, and it was just like at some point the reference book.
It was some Looney Tunes bullshit.
Yeah, it was effectively duck season, rabbit season.
That is exactly what happens, and it's going to end with someone getting shot in the face.
They keep drawing on them.
They could have at least fixed Yakstu.
God, I hate it so much.
Yeah, like if they were gonna flip around, and here's the thing. Here's what realistically, and people are like, well, why this one and not others? Realistically, it's because they put up profile that night, and someone had to go in and on the article pages. It goes up with a machine translation, and it goes in later and swaps in proper known English terms. Yeah. And they probably click the link, and they realize, oh, this name is spelled wrong. It gets fixed. And someone else goes, well, wait, is that fixed? Flip it back. Then they flip it, and blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
So, yeah. That's why, because someone's actively looking at it because of that. Not because anyone actually cares. But that means it flipped back and forth.
I wouldn't go so far as to say nobody cares. We like to have arguments over the pettiest of things. I'm sure somebody is really passionate about this.
Oh, yeah, you're probably correct on that one, actually. And then they also put up a poll. Which Night did... Wow, I copy-pasted that wrong. So which Night Digimon would you like to be your bodyguard? And the choices were... I'm looking at these out of who is most likely to do a proper job and also not be evil, and I feel like I got to give it to Cross4 Knight.
Hold on, why would you say not be evil? Like, if it's somebody that's my bodyguard, I don't care about their alignment. Give me Dark Knightmon.
Yeah, except the problem is how do you know he's not just going to stab you? Like, think about how many times the evil knight's a bodyguard in a show, and it's like the person goes, oh, you have to protect me, and then the person goes, ow, and then you look, and it hands down the swords right through their stomach.
It's usually the superior that turns on the bodyguard in those Digimon situations.
No, not if the bodyguard is evil.
That's when you make out with your bodyguard.
Yeah, see, the problem is if the bodyguard's If the
Turning into a
bodyguard's
Whitney Houston movie.
yeah, if the bodyguard's evil, it's the bodyguard that's gonna do it.
But what if you're both evil? What if it's like a Hitman's Bodyguard kind of situation?
I haven't seen that yet, but I know the sequel's coming out.
You need to watch it. It is glorious.
So what you're
I also have to think about who's good in conversation.
So what you're
like,
saying is
I don't want to talk. Nightmon himself is really kind of a bore. He has really annoying personality, so that's a factor too.
Okay, here's the thing. If you pick Knight, can the Starmon on the sword continue to talk?
It might be like an Excalibur from Soul Eater kind of situation where I would run screaming.
How much agency do the elements of the Digicross have? I don't think they have a whole lot. So if it is Shoutmon X4 Knight, it might be Shoutmon you're dealing with, which gives him a leg up.
Yeah, I'm going with Cross 4 Knight. The only correct answer to fit in with Dev is Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is the correct answer.
Yes.
Can I vote on that in the poll?
They don't let us write stuff in anymore because they don't want to deal with the bullshit.
And if Ryan Reynolds wins, do they put a picture up of Detective Pikachu?
Yes.
No, Green Lantern.
We pretend that doesn't exist.
Hey, he finally watched it while drinking booze and posting photos of him getting drunker and drunker. Okay, so what are our serious answers then? I'm going with Cross 4 Knight.
I'm going to stick with Dark Knightmon just because.
Same Dark Knightmon because he's an asshole and I want to be entertained.
Yeah.
Joke's on you. You both picked Tailmon. And not the Tailmon you like, so.
Well,
good luck.
Who says I don't? I don't mind reboot Tailmon. Tailmon's fine in the reboot.
I mean, I get a knight and a kitty. That's like a bonus.
Yeah, that's a positive. Also turns into Angelomon, who's really fueling everybody.
Yeah, but
I think you're selling this short here.
No, see, because here's the thing.
Basically, I get tanks and buffs.
Well, no, see, here's the thing. If we're counting separate forms in a positive form, then you do get Starmon to talk to.
Yeah.
But what if we don't want Starmon to talk to?
That's fair.
Then that's your fault. You should have thought about that before.
Really, it's not. It's Darulumon that's kind of the fun one, but in that group. Or Ballistamon.
Do I want a kitty or a puppy?
Yeah.
Oh, Ballistamon's good too.
Cross 4 Knight is clearly the superior choice.
Yeah, asshole choice.
Although I've lost track of why at this point. And I like how through the discussion, none of us even mentioned having the little child rookie Gladimon. Motherfucker has to decide how to spell his name first before he can be chosen. Yeah. And then we have cards. So that Morphomon has just the cutest art ever, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's adorable.
And then
let the Kizuna ones reign.
And then Manoa gets a card, which nice art there, very on modelish to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
We get Eosman Ultimate.
That one looks fantastic.
It does. Am I wrong, or does it look more feminine than it did in the movie? Or is it just that it?
Bit.
Okay, so I thought I was imagining that at first, but I wasn't sure. And then
also when when Eosman is its first appearances, it wasn't trying to give too much away.
Yeah, that's true. And then from Road to Digimon Card Master, we got better previews of cards we've seen. Eosman Adult, the Tamer cards for Taichi and Yamato, and the parallel cards for Agumon Bonds of Courage and Agumon Bonds of Friendship, which that's the first art we saw of the set, but nice to get good previews of them now. Those cards are going to sell for a lot. Can't you just already feel it?
Yeah.
Good luck finding those to anyone who wants them. Then we also got the first match with them from Digimon Card Battle, where number of cards, but no way in hell am I gonna like go frame by frame grabbing every card. So I grabbed a few. Ogremon and Rebellumon. The Ogremon one's good, and we also got Quinlongmon, which it's weird. His art's really nice, but it's also like exactly what I would expect for him. I guess when you're like the giant long dragon, you can only do so many interesting things.
Yeah.
Mugendramon, that's one of those ones where everyone went, oh man, he's so boring in all of his normal art. In here, like he has personality. You can see him doing his attack. This is one of those ones where it like elevates the Digimon, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah, before
Mugendramon
it's like,
kind of needs
okay,
it.
here's generic clip art.
Yeah, because and Mugendramon kind of needs it because he's probably had the most underwhelming appearance of all the Devas and Tamers.
Yeah. Then we get Gewalt Schwarmer showing Gundramon doing his blow everything up attack.
Gunny thing.
And Magna Kidmon, which people were excited by.
He hasn't appeared in anything in a while.
I think the last thing he appeared in, I think he was in one of the Hyper Coliseum extension sets.
Yeah, I think with like a Bell Starmon.
Yeah, it was just his profile art though, I think. But yeah, so art worked nicely for him. Last night we got a really nice looking Wizardmon card. Like, holy shit, that's a nice card.
Yukimi Bodamon is too much.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
And then the art that we didn't get for Booster Set 5 returns, where Omegamon and Zwart, and they got rid of the silhouettes, and instead we see Alter B and Merciful Mode both getting their first card art, which that's for Tamer, good set 2. Nice playmat, bunch of sleeves. I have to say, the Merciful Mode head is really nice here, I actually think. The way it's drawn just really works really well for me, to be honest.
Yeah, especially like the slightly inset panels. It's just like, goddamn.
Yeah, it really good. That's kind of where Alter B feels kind of flat to me, though, because for the two alters, you kind of need to see more of the body to really have it stand out. And they like tried to do a bit of collar, but it just didn't quite click for me. And that's for pre-order now at both Premium Bandai and the US equivalent. Ships in September, December, base where you order them. Not my type of thing, but if you were gonna get sleeves and a mat, $35 isn't bad. And then the weird news of the week was Cody leaving Fun Digica. And not 100% clear on it. Looks like he might be moving up on Bandai because it felt like they were suggesting that he might still show up from time to time. So, assuming that's correct, congratulations to him. Not much to say there, but
good for him.
Yeah, it does show though how well the Japanese side videos have been, where even when we don't understand them, it feels like everyone has personality, and that has not happened on the English side. And I don't think they've still updated part 2 of that like 12-part thing they were gonna do. So
God, and I hope they don't.
I mean, at some point it feels like they have to, don't you think? Like when they're like,
not really, it kind of sucked.
Oh, it didn't kind of suck. It really sucked. Like, that was fucking horrible. But we'll see. And then, DigiFest. We will get details on May 21st. We're just a few days away. Realistically, this is going to be exact times, the location for the physical, if they do. It feels like that if's becoming stronger. Because, yeah.
Spreading
and
state of emergency.
I want to see Hathaway. Do you know how long I've been waiting? Here's how long I've been waiting to see Hathaway, okay? They teased the movie in like 2018. The night that we first found out about a bunch of the Adventure 20th anniversary stuff, I saw Gundam NT in theaters, and at the end, they have the teaser for Hathaway. And it was supposed to come out last year, and then it was going to come out on the 7th. They're going to have home video at the same time because they knew some people weren't comfortable going to theaters. Then they push it back, and now they push it back again with no date. There are Blu-rays made with subtitles. I could be watching the movie. I mostly bring that up because I don't know if I expect the physical thing to happen for this.
Probably not at this point.
Yeah. Although I will say this, the streaming one they did last year was actually pretty nice, I have to say. I think that one worked. Yeah. So
it'd be nice if they had something for everybody.
Yeah. My real hope is that now that they've done if they don't do a live thing at the same time, an actual in-person thing, that they subtitle it like they do for the Diginavis, because that's been really fucking nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how nice would it be to sit there and watch it and have subtitles and, like, enjoy only getting one or two relevant bits of news?
That might be something you can take out of the reports, if they're really happy with the overseas numbers Digimon has been doing. That does, like, maybe they should focus on that a little bit, give that a little more love.
Well, I think they have been. They've been subbing the Diginavis. They have the little English corner of it that they've done in the last 2 or 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's actually weird to think about, because the last few Diginavis we've gotten actual, like, West-centric news that we did not have before the Diginavi, minus that they showed them in the advertisements for Diginavi.
Mm-hmm. So let's see that continue with a Digifest. It'd be nice.
Yeah, let's do that. So then, New Century still is. It's one of those weird things where I kind of forget that the way app games often launch, especially in China, is they will launch in, like, alpha or beta a year or two ahead of time. New Century technically is still not technically out. And I think we first talked about this like a year and a quarter ago.
I forgot that I remember I've seen this.
It's like, oh yay, this thing we occasionally get nice art for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a new promo where they talk about it a bit, and the details given are very much promotional talk. The game's been in development for over 3 years. The digital world of the game shall be vast and complex, which means kind of nothing. Yeah. The story will have some relation to the Digimon anime, which, am I wrong? Or, like, a year ago, didn't we get, like, promotional art of the adventure characters for this game, or was that for a different one? Like, they've already brought this up, haven't they?
I don't remember.
That doesn't ring a bell.
There was, like, wallpapers of, like, the adventure characters drawn in a style we hadn't seen before.
I don't think that was that for a game promotion? I thought that was for something else.
Well, you're thinking of the Kazuna posters, I'm guessing.
No, I don't even think it was for Kazuna. I thought it was something different.
It was yeah, I think it was for Kazuna, because we were surprised because there's, like, the watercolor style.
That was for Kazuna. That was for Kazuna. Yeah, that's not what I was thinking about. I thought there was something else.
There was. It was like we saw the train car, and it was Encounters. I found actually in the background.
It was Encounters. Oh yeah. Man. Okay.
Yeah. See, I found the post with it, which let me so you guys can see what I was. But yes, this was Encounters. For some reason,
is Encounters still running?
Fuck if I know. I think it still exists. They just don't add anything to it. But yes, this is. Well, yeah, what I just linked you to is what I was thinking of, where we just got, like, a bunch of random adventure art, and a few of them were newly drawn. But yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. This is what I was thinking of. But yeah, so that was Encounters. So New Century, we'll see what pops up there. And because yesterday was the 20th anniversary of Pocket, this is where they just found a reason to do it. Gladimon has a reference book entry, and it upset people, which was kind of funny to see.
Hey, do.
Do you know why it upset people? It has, like,
because
nothing.
It had 2 different fucking spellings.
No, the information is.
Did they try saying it Kurumon?
No, the actual information. So, the level is unknown. The type is unknown. The attribute is unknown. The attack, I believe, was blank.
That's consistent.
Oh no,
that all
is.
makes total sense.
But it's like you fall into that same hole where people decided
they want something concrete.
Yes.
Oh,
and
God. You don't do that with Gladimon.
Yeah, and
that's not how Gladimon functions.
And the actual profile, I think, might have been from Pocket Gladimon, which is like, it's a small Digimon. It doesn't evolve or attack, and it's mysterious, and it likes to play. And it says Kulu at the end of its words.
Yeah. I'd rather with a Digimon like that you keep it vague like that, because it's supposed to be kind of a weird, mysterious fluke of a Digimon.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what was funny. Was like, people like, they did a reference book entry and they gave us nothing, and I'm just amused because the art's so fucking nice though.
It's like they gave us nothing because
Gladimon is cute, and that's all
Glulimon's all about.
It's plushy fodder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, so see, this is where you get good marketing. Rather than doing art of Mugendramon, they put up pictures of the model kit and pointed out that it's now on sale.
Oh my God. Be a little
good
less
luck
obvious,
actually
please.
finding it on sale.
Yeah. And then Kenji Watanabe did the face-off
You two can disembody Mugendramon in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah. The Kenji Watanabe art, really nice art of that face-off, I have to say. Like, where he kind of like did it minimally, and then he did like the paint blowout background.
That was the moment where it's like, oh, are they going to do this again?
Yeah. Then we got another video preview of that product display in China, showing off more of it. And I was so busy, I finally took my much-needed week off of trying to go through Kanaka's stuff.
Which is, I went through some of that. I'm not going to share any details,
Yeah,
but it's like those were episodes that I'm particularly interested in getting his perspective on a couple things. So it was really
part of it
was really fun to watch, to read about him just glowing about the writing style of episode 21, which is a personal favorite of mine.
That's part of why I didn't just rush through it with minimal time, because I know these are ones that people wanted to hear about.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not.
There's elements of episode 23 I was curious about as well.
I simply didn't have the time to do it honestly. It would have been me scrolling through as quickly as possible and stopping. And if I'm going to go to the effort, I'd rather actually go to the effort, if that, you know what I mean?
Everyone just read the episode 21, because that's the Leomon introduction episode, and everyone loves that episode. So just read about him gushing over it. It's adorable. Poor Jury.
I'd rather watch almost any random episode of Power Rangers, to be honest.
Love that episode.
Just get stalked by a small child.
Yeah, and she makes those goo eyes. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'll be going through that. And then we have questions. So those of you in the chat, feel free to toss them up. And the ones we're sending out, the first one's really, this was done this is both a great question and a terrible question, because I know we all know exactly why it's here. What is your favorite gum?
The one Mark hasn't sent us yet.
Yeah, the one that I have the most is the pellet sugar-free juicy fruit. I go through that like crazy when I'm working.
I tend to do strawberry Trident.
I usually can't have gum because my teeth hate me, but when I can, I like the bubble yum cotton candy.
Oh, God damn it! It happened again. I was gonna say that's actually a gum that I really like, but I don't have a lot because it seems harder to find than it used to be.
Yeah,
there's like a little kind of like mom and pop like candy and nut shop near me, so they actually have in a lot of like rarer stuff.
Is it still a blue and pink swirl?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Oh man, I haven't had.
It still has so much sugar in it that it's grainy.
I haven't had proper bubble yum in forever.
And also, I like peppermint gum, but I don't have it a lot because, especially sitting there, like, you can't drink water for a while without it being super cold. And
I don't like mint gum.
I like mint gum, but I like the ability to go, okay, I'm going to spit out the gum, and then I'm going to sit here and drink something. And have it taste normal.
Like, I would like to taste things as they are.
Basically, yeah. Then from Galhart, we have, what's the most persistent Digimon-related rumor take that's bugging you all these days? Whether it's based on false info, manipulative wording, or absolutely nothing. I guess the take.
Ow.
I think
Dev's getting killed, but yeah, AR basically. Okay, that's not what I thought. I thought you said all bad.
No, that's what I said. I'm also asking, is the dog back?
Okay.
To Dev?
Yeah.
Yes, she is. The same dog that tried to.
I hear.
Yeah, the take that I
bashed my door open.
The take that I think is the worst are the people who clearly just don't want to be here. Like, they don't really want. Like, it's one thing if you don't enjoy it. Like, AR is clearly not enjoying Adventure at all. Minimally, I guess would be a better way.
Yeah.
But like the people who just don't, the people who don't seem to enjoy anything, and the only stuff they like is theoretical stuff that does not exist and probably never will.
Right.
Like the people who just seem to hate everything, but they're like, but Survive is gonna be fucking great, and it's like,
yeah, it's okay to leave.
Yeah, like
you don't have to stick around. No one's gonna revoke your credentials as a Digimon fan if you don't follow the new series.
Like here's the thing, it may shock some people, but I'm a fan of Star Trek. I watched season 1 of Discovery, and I went, you know what? I don't really like this. It's not for me. I watched 1 or 2 episodes of season 2, and I went, you know what? This is a bit better. But I'm out. I just don't want to watch. It's not enjoyable for me. I'm not sitting here to get upset. I have other stuff I can do.
And it's. I mean, even though I'm not particularly enjoying this series, it doesn't mean I'm necessarily unfair to it. Like this episode gotta be. Like it's not like.
No. I'm not
like I'm here to. It's not like I'm here to bury the new series.
You aren't the example here. I was more pointing out that you aren't necessarily enjoying the show, even when it's better. But you're also not like sitting here just to rant because you have nothing better to do. You're talking about something. To talk about it properly.
I'm doing this because I've been doing it for 10 years, and I just can't bring myself to quit now.
Yeah,
like that's kind of what I'm. It's like, and also I bring I'm trying to bring a perspective from the entire franchise, having done this for every episode of the franchise.
Yeah, it's sort of like no one's gonna be shocked if I say I'm not a Sabres fan. Neither do I just like sit there and take pot shots at it for no reason. I'll occasionally make a joke, but in general, I'm not going to talk about Sabres unless there's actually news, just because I have nothing. What am I going to say about it? Oh, I don't like it. Okay, good for me. It doesn't mean anything.
Gotta be something in Sabres you do like.
I think it has some fun personality stuff.
Okay.
And I definitely have like Digi Stars, a friend of mine, loves Sabres. One of her favorite shows. And when we make jokes about stuff back and forth, I get some good Sabres jokes in that she'll laugh at. Because it's meant to be fun, even when. Like, I'm not going to sit around and watch Sabres just because I don't like it, but I'll make cracks about it that are meant to be fun. Like one of the one, like
I'll make cracks about everything because
absolutely,
it's Digimon.
Yeah,
that's
but it's funnier when the show was new, and her and me would make jokes back and forth, and some of the jokes would actually happen. Like, I don't remember if she said it or I said it. It was one of the things where, like, okay, they have like a deep action episode with serious stuff, and Yoshino's drawn really cool. Rosemon's drawn really cool. And then the next episode will be a comedy episode, and it's like someone standing behind them with like a balloon pump for the comedy episodes.
Oh, yeah, they did that.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was a comedy episode. I think it was just they had random.
Yeah. But it was like
had a couple random episodes of Sabres where the balloon pump came out.
Yeah, and it was funnier because when it was said, whoever said it first, it was a joke. It wasn't an actual hit against the show because
and Sabre's not the only series to do that. It's just most prominent with Sabres.
In fact, WtW did that.
WtW did that. That
was a big joke with WtW back when it was new. Once the Christmas episode hit, was the big one. So
I don't know if
The entire point is to have fun, though. Like, here's
especially when we were destroying the Oekaki with like a war back and forth with Kurata and Satsuma.
yeah, but yeah, it's yeah. None of us want anything to actually be bad. We'll mock it if we don't like it, but we're not here to just. We're here to have fun, and that kind of gets to why the three of us will be here. Is we could all probably find better uses of our time, frankly.
Oh, I'm finding, I'm getting more involved in other stuff now.
Yeah.
So.
And then this was sent to the Curious Cat, and this somehow fell into a hole of. It was sent a few weeks ago, and it kind of fell into a text file. Someone wants to know, depending on what we've seen, which Pokemon and Digimon series would be most interested in seeing a crossover of?
That's a hard question.
Adventure and Sun and Moon.
Yeah,
Wait,
Sun and Moon.
Sun and Moon was the stupid one, right?
Yes.
See,
okay.
The thing is, Sun and Moon is the only recent series I've seen enough.
I guess I've seen clips,
a little bit of.
That's it.
It's when they decide to stop being completely episodic and just have it just be complete crack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Sun and Moon.
Yeah, I don't think
although Sun and Moon towards the end there, they had a few. Towards the middle and the end there, they had a few there's like spans where they'll have like this 3-episode amazing action oriented
here's the thing. I don't think any of us would be bothered if we got Digimon comedy sitcom.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think any of us would be In fact, have I been making the same fucking joke since Try, basically, about that's basically what we actually want? I think I have.
Well, yeah, I mean, we joke about, Digimon dating sims and harem animes and all that stuff. It's like, if that's the intent going in, if that's, if we know we're in for that, I think that'd be really fun.
I would want a series that's basically a Kenji Kotaro fic.
But the reason I would say beyond all the reasons you've already given about Sun and Moon is that Sun and Moon has the biggest, core cast, because it doesn't have just Ash and one or two companions. It has like 6 total characters in that. Like there's 6 actual kids in that, which means you're able to kind of compete with a full Digimon cast. Like if you have a Digimon season that's like 6 characters, like I would say a good example, I think Sun and Moon and Frontier, I think would pair up really well as an example.
And then,
especially with the Z moves.
Yeah.
I think I feel like the only thing that I coherently remember about Sun and Moon, because I didn't watch it, it was just seeing clips and stuff. The main thing that I honestly remember is the jump rope thing.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Because it was a gif of them jumping rope that got passed. I think that was Sun and Moon, anyways. That got passed around a lot.
But yeah, Sun and Moon. I think Sun and Moon has the most endearing core cast for me. Lilia's best girl, fight me. So yeah, I would put Sun and Moon with probably like Frontier, and I think that'd be really good.
Yeah. Yeah, literally all I remember is the jump rope thing. That's
I've seen that.
That's almost all I remember from that show because I just didn't watch it. And then Jack, you want to know what caused Cloud Continent to fall? I don't think it's technically fallen yet, has it?
It's still in the air.
But yeah,
I mean, we'll see what happens after what happened this episode, but it was definitely lower though.
It's because they haven't defeated Balos yet.
Yeah, it was definitely lower, and I'm kind of curious about that, but not enough that I'm like really nitpicky.
And then Matthias, your question we already went over, and in fact, we exactly pointed out that that's not true. But yeah, we already went over the numbers, which everyone is basically wrong about, and nothing news there at all. That's effectively just a bad read on Toei's financial report from people who just don't understand what those reports are. No, I know you showed up just now. I'm just letting you know we actually went over that in detail earlier. So next question, someone wants to know, they watched the Project A-ko remaster sample, and why doesn't Toei do that for Digimon? The answer is they can't. Minus movie 1 and maybe one of the other early movies, it's all SD digital material. There's nothing to remaster in that fashion. It's just that's animation stuff changed, and at that point, that's how it was done. And movie 1, you actually could remaster like that. Everything else, you can't. Oh, was the first Tamers movie one? Part of the issue is all of the remasters they've done have been off film copies of the digital movie, so they're a bit hard to tell sometimes without watching them in detail, and I just haven't rewatched those movies enough to know. So can't. Yeah. And Jackie wants to know, outside of Pokemon, would we want to see any other franchises crossover with Digimon? Cheating answer, Metabots. Because that's a cheating answer, because that's already been done.
Yeah, that's totally a cheating answer.
As
yes, but I can't really, like, it's hard for me to name a couple that are like.
See, I'm trying to think.
Oh, yeah. Me being the dark type that I am, I would probably go with a crossover with Promised Neverland. Let's hurt these kids even more.
Yay!
See, I keep getting caught in sitting there and thinking about how stuff would actually mix, or then I will think of the show and go, man, I'm not sure Digimon would actually add anything to this, minus just throwing in another character. Like, my brain jumped to Dan Machi, because it has not quite similarities with Digimon, but ways that I think it would click right. And I'm like, I don't know where you would actually throw Digimon characters in here, minus there's a Digimon standing next to this character. So I don't know. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, Ramon wants to know, was it necessary for Yamato not to tell Taichi that Metal Greymon digivolved to Mugendramon? I don't see, part of the issue is while we got the quick flash of Yamato thing back to it, it's not even clear if he knows exactly what was going on either.
Yeah, I've never gotten the impression that Yamato really knows what happened in a way that he can succinctly tell Taichi what exactly was going on. Like, he knows it was weird, he knows it was troubling. Like, did he actually see an image of Mugendramon's aura? Like, that's, it's actually
and
kind
even
of
so,
meta
and even
in a
so,
weird
he
way.
may have.
It gets back to the weird question of what do the kids actually see when they're watching evolution sequences.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like every show. Like, what actually happens in a giant robot show and the robots combine?
Yeah.
Some shows do point it out, but it's for us basically.
Sure. Yeah, and it's when you talk about stuff like that, then you do get into those kinds of questions, and it's weird and it's distracting, and I don't mind that they're not getting into that, because for Yamato to really have a discussion about that, we need to know what exactly he saw, and it kind of defeats the allure of what happened when you get into that.
Yeah, it's sort of like, oh shit, it's Mugendramon. He's giant. He's gonna smash everything. Well, first we have to have first Yamato has to stop everything so he can have a conversation with Taichi to go, so do you remember that time you got eaten and don't know what I'm talking about, and I've already tried to ask you about it?
Mm-hmm.
But Metal Greymon
and
turned
that moment was that moment when Yamato tried to ask him about it was so horrible in the first place, and it was so long ago that it's like, just it's done.
It's sort of the same reason why I kind of was upset they kind of swung back to Devimon for.
Sure.
Yeah, so basically that. The next one, someone wants to know, did we have lesser known films? I think we do suggest lesser known stuff, but yeah.
I already kind of have spilled my the couple that I tend to go to with that question.
Yeah, I'll go with two. So first one is Greedy with Michael J. Fox and Kirk Douglas. Don't read anything about the movie. Just know it's a comedy. A lot of good names from the 90s. Don't read anything about it. Just watch the movie. And then yell at me after the fact. But it's basically like a GPG comedy. It's very good. It's one of those movies where everyone's kind of lying to each other, so you don't want to read anything about it. But I believe you cut out there, AR.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kind of nodding and.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's fun, but you don't want to know what happens. And then when you realize the specific part that I'm not mentioning, that's when someone will yell at me. And then I will go ahead and mention a terrible... Now, that's a movie I like. I'll go ahead and mention a terrible movie that I love. Masterminds. Are either of you familiar with this movie?
I think I've heard of that
Not
one.
at all.
Okay, so I'm going to explain... Now, here's the thing. It has never been remastered. Even the digital releases are like the digital tape copies from the 90s that are 4:3 cropped. It starts with the old VHS thing about it's been formatted to fit your screen.
Oh, goddamn.
Okay, so you ready for what the movie is? It's 1997, and Vincent Kartheiser is not famous yet. He hasn't done Angel or Mad Men at this point, and he stars in a movie that's Die Hard for kids. He's a kid who's been kicked out.
Stupid as fuck.
Oh, it is, but let me finish so you can go back in the stupidness. Are you ready? He takes his stepsister to school, which is a fancy private school in like a castle or whatever. And they want him to leave because he'd been kicked out of it because he caused trouble. And they're redoing the security system. Now, as you can guess, the security company is actually like going to kidnap the rich kids to get money from their parents. And the Hans Gruber role of the guy in charge is Patrick Stewart with a mustache.
Oh, man.
Oh, but it gets better.
Okay, I'm sold.
It gets better. Vincent Kartheiser has like a radio to his best friend. At one point, when he's hanging out on the roof, he's like, "It's Die Hard at the school," explaining the situation to him. Like they actually stop to say it's a Die Hard.
They acknowledge it.
Yes.
God.
And of course, because it's like a school in an old castle or mansion, there's all types of places to hide, and he sets up traps and everything. And it is literally like they made a Die Hard movie for like teenagers, but with like no real violence or anything. And it is a terrible movie that I love to watch, and I really do want them to remaster it someday. But it is literally Patrick Stewart with a mustache, and it's not even like a good mustache. It's a bad mustache. Like, it's like a paste-on type mustache. And I'm grabbing the VHS cover to force you two to see it, and I will throw it in the chat so that the YouTube
fantastic.
people can see. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Doesn't this just make you want to watch this terrible movie? It
does, honestly.
I'm 100% serious when it's a terrible movie, and I love it. And I want it to be remastered. So, yeah, those are my picks. Dev, what do you have for lesser known films? I could have picked good movies, but I picked these.
It would have to be Killer Clowns from Outer Space and also Repossessed.
Is that lesser known at this point?
I don't know. I've never seen anyone that actually has seen it.
I have not seen it, but I don't feel it's lesser known. I think it's just one of those things that people assume are
one of the things
terrible.
That people have heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad choice, though. I just it feels like that's one that people know. It would be like me picking The Golden Child. It is a lesser known movie, but it's also an Eddie Murphy movie from when he was super famous.
Who's Eddie Murphy?
Yeah. Also not a good movie, but I still love it. Yeah. And then let's see if there's any more in the chat. Here we go. Someone wants to know, do we think a lighthearted Digimon comedy spinoff could actually work in the franchise's favor, or do Bandai and Toei have enough stuff that do just that? I
would really enjoy it. I don't know if it would work in the franchise's favor, given the I don't know if the fan base would necessarily, in general, latch on to something that's lighthearted and fun.
So
I think that in general they want the actiony stuff.
I think if you do that, it has to be framed correctly and also based on other like TV show running, a movie's out, and maybe they announce a 3-episode OVA of Mimi doing wacky shit.
Oh yeah, sure, that'll be fine.
Yeah, and it's like Mimi and Palmon are on a road trip, and it's specifically advertised as there's gonna be no action. It's just them fucking around. It's laid back camp for an hour and a half over 3 episodes. But at that point, that does break into spin-off, and that's actually not that different from the from some of the Memorial shorts.
The Kazuna shorts are like that.
Yeah, so it could easily be.
And even then, the people didn't get the comedy in that. They tried to derive some sort of a conclusion.
Yes, the last one especially.
The last one, yeah.
Where people were trying to argue
are we supposed to believe this? Is this canon now? I'm like, no, shut up, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fun. Calm down, relax, and have a laugh. Because what's weird is no one was were that many people sitting there going, is this canon, when they showed up in the Frontier audio drama? It was more like, haha, they're there, and holy shit, they actually teased that earlier in the year.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, last chance for questions. And that's all the prepared questions also. We kind of already covered it, but a lot of people, this was sent in. Someone wants to know that, commenting that Wargreymon and Metalgrumon only get new things due to favoritism. No, it's that they buy them, and that the person asking the question even answered that.
Those are the safest bets for sales.
Yeah, sometimes you
they print money.
Basically,
they print money.
See, sometimes you start with Omegamon. Sometimes you hold Omegamon back so you can do a big one once you've figured everything out. Like, they waited for Omegamon with the gem stuff until they figured out a way to sell us a $250 gem kit, and now they're doing another one, and Dev spent $320 or whatever on it. Does that come out anytime? So when's that come out, Dev?
I think around like September or October or something. I know it's just like really late in the year.
Yeah. But yeah. So, and Galahar even points out it's like Optimus Prime and Megatron. Those ones will never stop. Those are the ones that people want, no matter what anyone says. And the example that I like to bring up is, I like Cosmos. Cosmos is not going to get many fancy Transformer toys. He gets maybe a toy every 7 or 8 years. AR, where can they find you, and do you have anything coming up?
Digimon.firstagent.net is my now 10-year-old review site. And nothing coming up this week, but I am happy to say that I finished writing Nexus World. So I'm really excited.
Done with the chapter?
Done. So next week is the final chapter, and that story is all finished. 250-some thousand words of it.
Now, if our audience bothers you for 20 years about if you're going to retcon the ending, do you have plans to do that?
No. Heck no. If I didn't retcon retcon it to give Meikumon her partner back, then I'm not going to retcon my ending.
Meikumon retcons it.
Yeah.
Dev, which Wikimon?
I'm happy to say that two stories that encompass every season. That's the only major thing I completely missed on.
Dev, what Wikimon article would you like people to read this week?
Digimon, because now that is AR.
Now, how is that spelled on Wikimon, just so everyone is aware?
Like G.I. Joe.
That was a fucking horrible... Did you see that movie trailer?
Not at all.
Holy shit. Like, here's the thing. If someone does
all
not...
I heard was complaints about it.
Okay, so Before we go, G.I. Joe's a great example of why I really 100% don't care if Digimon tries things, even if I don't like it. G.I. Joe tries fucking nothing. And it is G.I. We've had the conversation before. All anyone remembers about G.I. Joe is the movie intro. The first one, the cartoon.
I remember the ending tags on the series.
Yeah. But like,
knowing is half the battle. Come on, that's the only iconic part of the actual G.I. Joe franchise.
Watch the trailer for the Snake Eyes movie that comes out later this year. It is nothing. It is shockingly
unambitious,
bland. Like, here's the thing: who sits there and goes, you know what I need? Let's have an origin story for Snake Eyes where he's just going to be a guy. I think he rides a motorcycle at one point. He talks about how he has to help people. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's the story I want to see about Snake Eyes. Here's what you do for Snake Eyes movie. He doesn't talk, and he just, like, kills people. Like, you want it to be John Wick without talking. That's what you want a Snake Eyes movie to be. It's John Wick, and he's silent. That's it. You don't need any effort to make a Snake Eyes movie. Instead, and I believe it's called like Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins. It's like, oh, do you motherfuckers really think this is gonna like be so good? You're gonna have like a stack of these.
I wish it would never exist ever again.
Yeah.
Do people still care about G.I. Joe?
Fuck no.
Okay,
it's sort of like the oh man, how much, like, and don't get me wrong, I'll try to watch it, but how much do people care about He-Man? I like He-Man and I don't care. When's the last, like, here's how He-Man dies compared. Digimon's still here and Digimon's still doing relatively strong, partially because even if they go back to old characters, they're trying different things. Kazuna isn't Tri isn't O2 isn't Tamers isn't Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So they did He-Man, and then they did the New Adventures of He-Man, which tried something new, and then they never tried anything new again.
To be fair, my brother did comment, and like he seems, or someone was trying to get him reasonably excited for the new series.
Yeah, all we have from it are like 10 screenshots where it looks like nicely drawn He-Man. But literally all the talking about's been, it starts right after the original show ended, and it's going to be dark original He-Man.
No.
It's like,
oh no,
like, here's the thing. You know what most people remember about He-Man at this point? They remember two things. They remember Prince Adam doing the head dance with the they remember that, and they remember every snarky joke about Skeletor where it's like, Skeletor, I'll skull fuck you, He-Man. Oh, and because that joke's been done 1,000 times.
Skeletor himself is a meme.
Yeah.
But the actual series itself, who cares?
Here's why. Also, that one commercial from the UK was like an insurance commercial, and they have a dance off.
Oh yeah.
That's all He-Man is. He-Man does not exist as like. Here's the thing. The show could be fucking amazing. I could be 100% wrong. I don't think anyone who had interest in that He-Man, I'm too young for He-Man, and I'm like 36 at this point. Yeah. I barely remember watching He-Man.
Exactly. I absolutely watched He-Man,
but I don't remember
it.
Do you?
Tell you a darn thing about it.
It's like that.
I like the way my memories of He-Man, like that convinces me why it was a good idea to reboot She-Ra the way they did.
No, absolutely. And here's the thing.
Like that's different.
But like that's why I 100% don't care if they make Digimon that I don't like, as long as it doesn't mean kids have to flock to it, but it does have to at least try to be interesting, even if it's different and even if it's bad. Like the new show has a lot of problems, but they are trying stuff that is actually different from what we've seen before. I'm not saying it works for me personally. More often than not, it hasn't.
And that's more my concern. That's more what disappoints me than the actual show being something I dislike, is that they think that this is going to work and this is going to be the formula they go from here on out, and they're not going to do different going forward. That's what worries me.
Here's why I don't agree with that, because I look at most Toei shows that do vanish and come back or keep going. And generically, they do try new things. Like we've talked about Kitaro before. Every Kitaro show looks entirely fucking different and seems to try new things. If Digimon vanishes for 5 years and then comes back and does interesting stuff, I don't need Digimon 24/7. If it wants to if they want to vanish it for 2 or 3 years and that's what they used to do. Savers isn't my thing, but it at least looked interesting and it did stuff different, and then it went away. And then Crosswords came where it did stuff, went away. Tri came, did stuff. At the end of Tri, we're told there's going to be something new. Kazuna is heavily based on specific things, but it did do stuff different and it was interesting.
Sure. Yep.
And I'm 100% happy to get Digimon that I don't like as long as it's interesting. And that's part of why I'm willing to make jokes about Survive. I hope it's good. My concern is I think every time I see it, it's going very basic and easy, and this seems too obvious to do. And that's my core issue with it. That's why we make the Adventure Extreme jokes, because it looks like someone just told them about Adventure and they went, we're going to do that and we're going to say it's going to be dark, and someone
that's part of my problem with the new series is the way they deal with Adventure. Like, it really does feel like, as far as writing the kids that they just watched the English dub 20 years ago and are going off memory off of that. Like, that's how I feel like they're writing the kids in this show.
That feels pretty accurate.
I feel like that's accurate in concept, not in actuality. Where I get your meaning, but not the literalness of that happening. Which I don't think that's what you meant.
I think it's pretty close for the most part. Not except for Mimi. Mimi's very different, but other characters like Joe being going back to Joe being having allergies and motion sickness all the time, like that just feels very dubby to me.
See, to me, it feels like trying to find something to do with him when they aren't sure they have something to do with him, so he becomes the butt.
Yeah, which is a problem, because you should.
I'm not saying it's not
struggle to find something to do with Joe. Joe should be really easy to find stuff to do.
To be fair, they have found stuff to do. We just don't like it.
I'm not sure that's really considered stuff. I think that's just comic relief.
You're not wrong on that. But yeah, I'm 100% happy for Digimon to be something I don't like, as long as it's interesting, and as long as it does not fall into the He-Man G.I. Joe rut.
And that's what I'm fearing.
The
success of the new series. I'm concerned. I'm not concerned that this series isn't good. I'm concerned that the next series is going to be the same. Different. I think it might be the same, and that's what concerns me.
I don't think it will, but okay. When you say next series, you 100% mean something completely new people, and not just half a year from now, Adventure gets a new name. Just to be clear.
Yeah. When they wrap up this season of Adventure and do something, whatever comes next, whether it is a follow-up Adventure series or a 02 reboot or a new series with new characters, whatever.
My honest feeling is it's turning into Kitaro. It just will be more common than Kitaro is.
Yeah, that's
what it feels like to me. Is it's going to continue the theme of being different. I think Digimon's just at the point where it makes enough money where it might not vanish in the way it has in the past. Doesn't mean it won't take breaks, but I think it will continue to get things that are different. Or at the very least, at the very least, before everything bombs, how about put all the Atmon in the reference book? At least give us that.
Give us an Atmon episode, you cowards of
exactly.
the reboot. You know you want. I know they want to.
So here's the thing. And before we go, there's one thing we actually haven't brought up, which we're months away from the 25th anniversary of the franchise. Because 97. That's a good time to keep a show going or do a new show, wouldn't you say? Bring back Bun is what I'm going with.
Still saying that could be the final boss.
Yeah. But yeah.
The true form of Millenniumon.
Basically, we want it to be interesting. You know what
I
it
think
needs?
Millenniumon is going to be dead and buried before they actually get to the real final boss.
I hope it is. Like, here's the thing: there's nothing interesting about Millenniumon to me. It's people are interested in him in theory because
especially not in this new series.
It doesn't have a personality.
To be fair, we haven't met him yet.
It is.
Like it's
I mean,
not a case of no
It's like an angry little bug in a jar.
Yeah,
but that's all he ever was. That's all he ever was.
It's not gonna pop out of the ground and have the personality of Edamon.
Okay, here's how I want the arc to end. Are you ready? They're getting ready to fight him, but he hasn't evolved from Moon Millenniumon yet. And then a silent kid jumps and goes, ha, 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 picks up the ruby and runs off.
You know, I'd be fine with that.
And the hero of Hyrule has saved the digital world.
Link is a better protagonist than Taichi, I said it.
That feels like an attempt at a dig that doesn't really work.
I want
I'm
That's
sorry.
True. I'm on Breath of the Wild right now, and Link actually does have a pretty good character.
Yeah, it's like, oh, good. You've said he's not as good as one of the most popular fictional characters of all time. Great bar there.
I'm talking in terms of like actual having a personality, and in some of the Link games,
some of them
he
has
zero personality. Breath of the Wild, though, not one of them. He has plenty. He has enough personality for a silent protagonist.
Am I wrong, or did Tentomon voice him?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure Sakurai. I'm pretty sure
Sakurai voiced Link.
I think he did at one point.
He gets around a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Link, Wikipedia, Link: The Legend of Zelda, Japanese voice actors. Holy shit! Link has a lot of voice actors. 1 second.
Kengo Takanashi.
No, it appears he actually didn't. I'm thinking of Cloud because he definitely voices Cloud.
Yes, he does.
Okay, that's
I'm showing for Breath of the Wild. It was Kengo Takanashi. I don't know who that is, but
that name sounds really. We will catch you guys next time. We will not keep you here forever talking about He-Man.
Oh yeah, we did an outro
Zelda.
like 10 minutes ago.
To be fair, we got into a good He-Man conversation, which has not happened in at least 30 years, I'm sure.
It is weird that we get good conversation out of He-Man, considering what a crap franchise that is.
And I like He-Man. It's a terrible franchise.
It's a good terrible franchise. It is.
I'm disappointed that I didn't order that Prince Adam figure when they made it for a convention. They actually made a Prince Adam figure and molded it to be doing the laugh and everything.
I should have a Prince Adam figure on principle.
I'll get you next time, He-Man. We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.